Telkom Business, behind South African businesses' drive to thrive.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurial SME. I'm your host, Mabote. Each week, we will be talking to some of South Africa's sturdy and fearless entrepreneurs, while also unpacking the current industry trends affecting SMEs today. Joining me in studio is Tumi Nakedi, founder of Tumi Captivating Fashion, and Makgosi Mabaso, managing executive for Home and Business Broadband at Telkom Business. Before we jump straight into the conversation, let's take a quick look into Tumi's business.
My name is Tumi Nakedi and I grew up in Soweto in Netherlands. I'm actually the founder, the creative director and the brand ambassador for a brand called Tumi Captivating. We specialize with women apparel and accessories, and all our garments are locally manufactured. The brand was actually conceived from a need to provide high-end fashion at a reasonable price for a market that has a unique taste requirement. The business, it was established in 2018. It wasn't easy because I was actually venturing from corporate. So I used to work in the corporate space and just basically venturing into a total new space. It was hard in the beginning because I was trying to obviously navigate a space that I don't know much about. So entrepreneurship can be quite lonely, but I remained driven and I persevered. What I love most about the business is the behind the scenes. It is much more enticing because there is so much that happens behind the scenes in terms of putting all the pieces together towards, the end product. We have built strategic partnerships with two retailers. For me in particular, it's Lady Ghana Designers as well as the African Fashion International. We basically use them as our distribution channel. We supply them with merchandise, and those platforms, they actually help local designers to access the market, whereby that happens to be one of the biggest challenges for most local designers, whereby you are selling on your own, but there are other opportunities, but you don't know how to access all those opportunities. So local is lacquer, and with platforms whereby there are those synergies from a collaboration perspective, it's actually a humbling experience.
If looking the part was a person to me, you are that person. Congratulations and welcome to the Entrepreneurial SME.
Thank you.
As a competitive fashion industry can be, it's a very tough industry, right? How did you pick your market and the niche?
There's a rise in demand in producing locally manufactured products. So that's basically where we saw a gap to produce garments that are high-end at affordable price, and for the market that has a distinctive taste requirements.
But who is this market? I mean, describe this person. How many years?
It's female. It's female. We produce garments specifically for women aged between 30 to 45. So that's basically our market.
You reach them. I realize you work a lot on Instagram.
Correct.
You're in that space. And I suppose it's also because you can't put up a billboard. It costs a lot of money. How does that space work for you?
So it's an online business, and it's definitely operating on Instagram. So obviously we're using the digital platforms to operate our business. We advertise our products there, and that's basically where our customers get hold of us.
Has it worked better than, say, typical marketing and sales, walking door to door, telling people about what you do? Is the digital strategy a much better strategy? You know what,
I think as a start, it's very good for marketing your product. It's good for publicity. Obviously, you want people to get to know more of you. It also enables you to gain more traction.
Makgavo, in the insert, Tumi shared a bit about partnerships and collaborations. Something very key in business. There are cliches. Sometimes when I hear them, I ask myself, do they really mean what they're talking about? But why is it important for businesses to form partnerships and collaborations?
Yeah, I think, Rams, it's quite important because they are not an island, and the journey that they are traveling is big. it really requires them to collaborate with those that have been there and have done it before. It requires them to collaborate with corporates that can probably help them to gain access to markets, to collaborate with corporates that will also help them to gain access to any type of funding, you know. So it's unfortunately not a journey that you can travel alone. As Tumi said in the clip, you know, it can be very lonely. So the ability for us to be able to come in and say, you know, Tumi, here we are, you know, there's an opportunity for us to collaborate with you, you know, becomes a very important aspect in our DNA as a company.
And Tumi, for you specifically, she's speaking concepts, but specifically, how have the partnerships worked for this business?
It was a game changer. I mean, I'm going to specifically talk about, you know, my current synergies, and that is the African Fashion International as well as Lady Ghana. I mean, I remember the first time I've seen my garments being selected as one of the, you know, local designers to showcase talent on TV. And by that time, it was the Black Industrialists, I think, conference last year in July. And that exposure on its own, it was really a big deal in terms of the brand exposure and obviously the collaborations, as you've mentioned. Accessing the market has always been one of the challenges for one to upscale the business.
I suppose also it helps because if we don't do that, we end up doing everything. And your specialty is your specialty, not everything in a business, right?
Correct.
Although as SMEs, we try to be the team maker to the CEO. Now, Makgabo, the other thing that I've always wanted to highlight a lot in small business, innovative practices, right? You know, the small businesses have to always think innovation. What can people like Tumi implement for survival and growth from an innovation point of view?
Yeah, so Rams, every time when you think about innovation, it really talks about what are the solutions that we have today that can help them to scale, but also what are the trends that's actually coming, you know, their way. So one of the things that I found about fashion is that metaverse is actually a very big deal that's actually coming their way. You know, we've seen Amazon actually recently talking about the virtual tryout. So in essence, you've got your products on the platform, and you can actually try it out. You know, so from an innovation perspective, as an organization, there's a lot of work that we want to do behind the scenes to be able to help the SMMEs to get to that point. Because as much as we talk about Amazon, we can talk about what Adidas does, what Nike is doing in that arena. It's the same customer that actually do me services. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So for the fact that that customer is able to enjoy that type of a service on another platform, they should also be able to enjoy that service locally here, you know, with Tumi. So, you know, so really when we talk about that, we have to look at what does the future hold for this industry? What opportunity does it, you know, does it bear for Tumi, you know, so that she will be in the position to scale her business. And more than anything else, when we talk about this, it's quite important for us to understand the behavior of the customer, right? So Tumi talked about the segment that she's actually servicing. I'm part of that segment. Every time I look for anything, I go online. All right, anytime I look for anything, and I become a segment that's looking for omni-channel. So meaning I'm toggling between an online, you know, platform as well as a physical, you know, type of a platform. So it really becomes important that as she thinks about the digital strategies, that she thinks about how she can merge the two, you know, to be able to service her customers.
That's when the lights are on. Well, we'll continue this discussion after this short break. Stay with us.